Real and Zeal promises to be yet another wonderful moment. I am Liman. As always, I will want to beg you to please give me that moment to go on the break, and when I come back, we will be fully into the program. So please don't get away. I'll be back shortly. Welcome to the mainstream of the program. You will recall that council elections were conducted in the Federal Capital Territory of recent. And whatever happens during the elections are the test run to other elections. We have persons with disabilities that participated in the elections, and they have experiences to share. This is going to be in two segments, and in this first one, I have the representation of persons with disabilities, that is the blind community, and that is Mr. Jacob Agada, the chairman, National Association of the Blind, Abuja chapter. It feels nice to have you, Jacob.
It is a great opportunity for me as a layman.
Great. You participated in the elections that just took place.
Yes,
and
I did.
I believe you had some experiences to share.
Very well, sir.
You want to start from the preparation to the elections. What happened? How did INEC take care of your own aspect of the election matters?
Yes. The build-up to the election, I want to actually say that INEC did a great job. The first thing they did was that there was a training that was conducted for the visually impaired community. The training was specifically for the blind. There we were taught all that it takes to run that election and participate fully. Through that training also, we were told that for the visually impaired person to vote independently, INEC went ahead to prepare a braille ballot jacket, which will guide the blind persons who can read braille to vote independently.
Okay.
And as well as before the election, there was that opportunity that was given to the disability community to be represented in the ad hoc staff, which even someone from my organization represented us as an ad hoc staff in the election.
On the election day, I believe you went out to perform your civic right.
Yes.
And you had some experiences?
Yes, very well. On the day of the election proper, I went out. Before I stepped out, we were told that very day that there was a polling unit newly created very close to my residence. And I went out with my friends. We got there. We were told that our names are not on the list of that polling unit. Then we proceeded to the very polling unit where we registered in 2011 precisely. On reaching that very place, I penetrated, got to the front, met the officials, and I inquired from them, where is the line for persons with disability, the priority line. We were told that the line exists, but nobody is on the line, and we were ushered straight to the stage. But before I could get to the stage, I observed that the place has some environmental barriers. I observed that there was an open gutter and it will be difficult for those on the wheelchair to cross that gutter, and there was no slab, nothing on the gutter. It was open. We cross it. Then reaching the place proper is a bit elevated. It's high. You have to raise up your leg. There was no step, and there was no ramp for the wheelchair user to climb to the stage. We're able to climb up, which I know that it will serve as a barrier for some of our members within the disability community. There, I now demanded for the braille jacket to guide me to be able to vote independently. But the official told me that the braille jacket was far, and I asked how far it is. He said that where it is now, he cannot access it now, but they have it. But the thing is that it was far, which I didn't really want to argue because of pressure on him. And I collected the ballot paper, went to the polling unit where we're permitted to use our aids to assist us to vote. This is the experience I had on that particular day.
All right. That is your own personal experience.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We are returning from the break to hear you tell us some of those experiences that your members may have related to you.
Will and Zeal.
If you're just joining, you're highly welcome. This is Will and Zeal, where we usually concentrate attention on matters that have to do with persons with disabilities. And today we are looking into the electoral process that just took place in the Federal Capital Territory during the council elections, the experiences of persons with disabilities in the FCT. And we have Jacob Agada, who is the chairman of the National Association of the Blind, discussing with us on the program. Now, Jacob, your members may have narrated to you some of the experiences they also had at their own end.
Yes. Let me start with the involvement of my members, particularly as ad hoc staff in the election. A female was chosen to represent the blind community. She actually served at Nyanya Aziz as one of the ad hoc staff. She shared with me that the experience was quite interesting. She was given APO 3, which she actually discharged her duty. And within the Nyanya area, she ensured that the Braille ballot guides were taken to the various polling units.
Okay, that is to say, it was the Braille guide was available in some units.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. So she ensured that those that came out who are visually impaired used the Braille ballot guide, particularly her polling unit. And some of the polling units around there, she ensured that those guides were taken to their stations. Then she shared with me also that some of our members from that area actually came out to vote, which it was hinge free for them because of the Braille ballot paper, which was a great innovation by INEC to ensure that the blind person votes without any challenge. From other areas like Gwagwalada area councils, they reported that they were denied the right to vote because of the machine, which is called a Viva, they used. It could not capture them. The state and they tried, they brought some technicians, they worked on it, but unfortunately the machine did not capture them and they returned home without exercising their voting rights.
Were they told why that happened?
Yes, I think it should be a technical fault from the system they used. Though the system was not bad because it was capturing other people, but it was only those people he rejected, and I don't really know, it could be a technical fault. That was the report, because they said they brought a technician who worked on it, but to no avail.
Before I let you go, what would you advise to improve condition for persons with disabilities in subsequent elections?
Yes, my advice is that though INEC, they are doing a great job, I can categorically state that among the government agencies, INEC is one of the most friendly agencies that we want to ensure that they implement every section of our Disability Act, as well as, there is a room for improvement all the time. I want to encourage them that in the subsequent elections, like the ad hoc staff that they have started, including persons with disability, they should increase the slot so that at least in all the area councils, persons with disability should be represented, and they should be spread across many polling units, because by the time they see them as part of the workers, it gives us that dignity that we are part of the process, right from the voting and the officials that preside over the election itself. So I wish INEC will improve more on that, and at the same time, in the subsequent elections, they should step down their training even down to the grassroots. It could be area council by area council, so that those of our members in the rural areas could be enlightened the more, so that they can participate fully in the process.
Thank you very much. It's been wonderful having you on the program.
Thank you, Mr. Liman.
Okay, we are taking a break at this point. When we come back, it will be the B side of it, the other segment, where we'll be meeting yet another official that will be giving us his own side of it.
Will and Zeal.
On the second segment, I have Suleiman Abdul Mumuni Uja. He is the chairman, Joint National Association of Persons with Disabilities, FCT chapter. He is deaf, so that you don't get it confused when you are hearing. He is a man. If you are hearing a female's voice, that's the voice of his interpreter. You're highly welcome, Suleiman.
Thank you very much.
Feels nice to have you on the program. Our attention is on the recently concluded elections in the FCT, how it fared with you and your members during the elections. So you will start by telling us your personal experiences during the elections, and then we'll go to know what your members felt.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, truly, it's been wonderful to be here with you. The last election was my first to participate along and observe the election. I have been participating and voting prior to this time, but this last election I served as an observer. At first, we went to FCT INEC headquarters to meet with the rec, and he readily assured us that most of the assistive devices have been sent to all the polling units. So we moved to Area 8. Our first experience was that from the list of things, there was no persons with disability there. We also made emphasis to know that, okay, supposing a person with disability is coming to this polling unit, what are the provisions made available for persons with disability? And the first thing was that the platform was not accessible to someone on wheelchair. The voting cubicle is also on a high platform. That someone on a skateboard will not be able to access. Then also, the easy to read voting instruction was blurred for even a deaf person to read. Those are the things that we saw and realized that the election wasn't inclusive. And then also we went ahead to Area 10, the Festival Road Primary School in Area 10. The polling unit has only one voter. So at the time we got there, the INEC official are already on ground, but there was no voter at that polling unit. And also the same observation.
Sorry. When you say no voter, are you referring to a voter with disability, or generally there was no voter at all?
No, voter with disability. No voter with disability at that point too. Not to waste time, we observed 5 polling units around Area 1, around the back of Area 1 shopping complex. Yeah, they have persons with disability that are participating there. And we demanded for the disability inclusive assistive devices, and there were none provided. There was no braille ballot guide. There was no magnifying glasses for persons with albinism. And then also persons with physical disability that were there also encountered problem in voting because the voting cubicle was not accessible. They had to bring the ballot paper down to their level and then vote. And at that point, there were mistakes because the ink were falling apart from the place they were voting on. Sorry, in Karomajiji, which is the disabled colony. We were there. Persons with disability were not given priority voting because they complained that they've been there since 7 a.m. and at the point we got there, they were still there, not able to vote. And the INEC official said they were trying to balance 5 persons with disability, 5 persons without disability. And it happened that they have assistive devices. They have the braille ballot guard there. They have 1 magnifying glasses, but where the magnifying glasses was, the next polling unit to that area, because we have 7 different polling units in Karomajiji. The polling units that have persons with albinism does not have the magnifying glasses, and the one that has magnifying glasses doesn't have persons with albinism.
Okay, Suleiman, help us to understand. Why was it that there were no persons with disabilities in those places you went to at first? Whose fault was it that they weren't there?
Well, in areas where there were no persons with disability, we can't say whose fault it is because Number one, it could be both faults. Why? Because persons with disability may have their own registration area to a polling unit that is very, very close to them, but they may not go and collect their voter's card, and without that they will not be able to go out and vote. And as you know also, there are new polling units that were created, and this is the first time of using those polling units. So most polling units that are distanced from persons with disability will not be able to access those polling units. So those are the reasons I think some of persons with disability are not visible in those areas, and some are yet to collect their voters card.
What will be your final advice to the government and your members?
Well, disability law have come to stay, and it is presently our collective responsibility to educate everyone in Nigeria to know what is right for persons with disability must be provided for persons with disability, and persons with disability must be fully included in anything that they want to do. Even if persons with disabilities are not there, the facilities must be provided, because persons with disability are of different types. Some disabilities are not visible. Example is persons with psychosocial disability. I am a deaf person. You can identify me until it comes to speaking. So, any provision that you are making available to everyone, that is where the implementation of the universal design is key for success of inclusivity.
Oh no!
In government process.
Suleiman, I wish I have more time, because I know how vibrant you have always been when it comes to matters like this. But time will not permit us to continue more than this level. Thank you so very much for coming on the program.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Will and Zeal. Wheel and Zeal is one sky-starry program that inspires the viewer and also boosts the morale of every person with disability. Is open for sponsorship, advertisement and announcement. For more information, call 0809 685 9565 or email wheelandzeal@gmail.com. Wheel and Zeal equals.
So you have heard it all. Voting right belongs to every citizen, and persons with disabilities are part of the citizen that should not be left out of the process. Well, good to think that the independent national electoral body is doing a lot to improve their standard, as it has to do with the involvement of persons with disabilities in this country. Thank you very much for the time you have taken to be part of Will and Zeal again. Until we will be coming your way another time, on behalf of the entire people I've worked with, I want to believe that you will enjoy the rest of your evening.